Well, joining us for the Friday entertainment panel this week is Abby St. John. We didn't have one last week because of the Easter holidays, so we're back at it this coming Friday. We're talking a little bit, the first topic's a little bit different today because we're kind of talking about how blockbuster movies are now finally starting to get out there into theaters the way they should be. An example being with Kong versus Godzilla out this past weekend, making lots of money and ironically making more money than Wonder Woman 1984 did. So that kind of tees up for other blockbusters down the road here, you know, like Black Widow and the Suicide Squad, just to name a few that are getting ready, Abby. So what can we possibly see from, you know, numbers wise for the next couple of months here?
Yeah, so this was Godzilla versus Kong was definitely, I think, a glimmer of light for Hollywood, for the movie industry. It was released in more than 3,000 theaters across North America, also all over the world as well. And it makes it the biggest theatrical release since the pandemic started and has made around $300 million worldwide at the box office currently. So this is just showing that the movie industry is getting back into it. And I think that having a movie like this, it was action packed, lots of explosions. It's not really realistic, obviously, because Godzilla and a ginormous gorilla are fighting each other. So I think it was a bit of a distraction. It was a nice film for people to go see, to be distracted from the regular world that we're in right now. And it's doing really well, which is, I think, giving a lot of other theaters, other movies, other production houses more hope, because it was very ominous last year and we didn't know what was going to happen. A lot of every movie theater was shut down. No one was able to go see them. And then when more and more started and we had movies like Tenant come out, people were still weary about going out in public, whether that was a risk to take or not. But now that, more countries, they're opening up more and more stores and more businesses and theaters, we're being able to see that the movie industry can bounce back, can come back from last year. And Godzilla and King Kong, I think, or Godzilla versus Kong, I think was a good movie to start with. And obviously from how much they've made, it's really going the distance.
And we're going to talk about another blockbuster movie a little bit later on, but we're going to talk to something else that we saw earlier last week as well over that Easter holiday. We got a glimpse of another Marvel series that is coming out next month, or 2 months, excuse me, with Loki, and we finally get a little bit more in depth of that. So talk about some things that really stood out to you, Abby, with that trailer dropping.
Yes, like you said, it gives more insight into what we can expect. The first teaser, we didn't really know what was happening. But anyways, if you've watched the trailer, you'll know that the show is going to follow Loki as after he takes the Tesseract. When the Avengers go back in time in Endgame, he ends up taking it, and he ends up getting taken by the timekeepers who are in charge of keeping the flow of time in order, because when he took that Tesseract, he created alternate branch realities that are disrupting the flow of time. So they're forcing him to almost go to those branches and to help fix that problem that he created. So it looks like it's going to be a phenomenal show. Everyone who watches Marvel knows what type of character Loki is. He is the god of mischief. He is very manipulative. He's very sly. He loves using metaphors. He is a fantastic character, and this show circles around him, and I'm very excited to see what he does, if he's going to play any tricks to get what he wants. It's going to be interesting, and now that we kind of have an idea of what to expect, I'm that much more excited for it.
And one of the last things we're actually just touch on that. I'm excited because Owen Wilson's in it, and of course Owen Wilson we all know from great movies. There, that's just kind of my personal tidbit there. And one of the last things I mentioned, we were talking about another blockbuster. We got a first glimpse of Ghostbusters Afterlife, which I know you've mentioned on this panel before. You're really excited to see as well. And we saw in the clip itself with Paul Rudd in there and some familiar characters. And the look when I first saw it, it was very 80s style, just the way that they were designed. So what was your reaction when you first saw it? Because I know, like I said, you are excited for this movie to come out.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen really anything big happen with Ghostbusters Afterlife, and it was just a 54-second clip, and it does show Paul Rudd. He's buying ice cream at a grocery store, and as he's walking down the aisle, he hears something coming out of the marshmallow packages, and it turns out to be mini puffs. And if you're familiar with the original Ghostbusters with the ginormous puff, there's mini ones now, and it's just a fun little cute clip just showing them, having fun. You can see them melting chocolate on each other, on making s'mores out of each other. So it's a fun little clip, and it makes me again that more excited to see this film. It's going to be interesting to see what the rest of the film's going to be like, but having Paul Rudd of all people in it, it's going to be good.
It definitely will be. And of course, I'm anxious to see what happens next and also what other ghosts look like as well. Abby St. John, thanks so much.
Thank you.